And a one, and a two, and a three. Shabbat Shalom! Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Welcome to Rap Ministries. That's Reaching All People Ministries. And I'm Brother Ronnie. And all of the congregation here welcomes you guys in today. Thank you for coming on in today. We sure appreciate everybody that's here. Got a great lesson for you. What you say, Auntie?
Amen.
She said, amen. We can turn this music down some. Wonderful song, ain't it? Grateful. Sweet man, folks ain't grateful. I'm grateful that he let me breathe his oxygen. You hear me? Look. Grateful. Because I could be sleeping in a grave today, couldn't I? I could be dead in the grave. My spirit would be with the Most High. But life as I knew it in this earth realm could have been over, couldn't it? But thank everybody for coming on in. Again, I'm Brother Ronnie. And I just want to thank you for joining us today. You could have been somewhere else, but you decided to keep the Holy Shabbat with us on today. Appreciate you. 1 week from Passover. We got a lot of work ahead of us this week. Woo. Got an announcement that we're going to do it a little differently than from what I said. You know, I have to take my wife into it, man. We got a lot of work, so I had to take her into account. So we're going to eat the lamb that Friday night. Got too hot for you? So it did work for you, huh? But we're going to eat the lamb Friday night, and then we're going to have regular Sabbath service, and then after Sabbath service, we're going to feed the people again. That'll be the first day of unleavened bread anyway, so we're going to feed the people. We're going to feed the people. Because there would have been a lot of back and forth. Friday night, then get back have Shabbat service, then go back home and then come back, and that's a lot, so, but we are going to have 2 meals together. We're going to have a meal Friday night, the Passover, and we're going to have just a meal after Shabbat service where we can all sit around, and I want to take some pictures this year, some nice quality pictures this year, for us, so for the ministry, especially since we're in our new place now. But thank everybody for coming on in. And like I say, let me turn this down. I feel like I'm yelling. All right, we grateful. But thank everybody for coming on in. If you can hear the sound of my voice, you are alive. You in the land of the living one more time. And I always say I know somebody personally who died this past week. And I was over at my mom's house having dinner with them, with my sisters. They was in town from California, and they said, "Oh, Julie died." Lady that when I was in the Sunday church, went to church for years. Nice lady, knew her a long time. Matter of fact, she was the one I always told y'all about this book that I got. It's back in there. I did not bring it out. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I'm giving her time to shine. One last, she gone. What I do with that book? She gave me this book right here, A Divine Revelation of Hell. This is a good book. I don't know how true it is, but boy, if you not saved, it'll make you get saved. By Mary Kate Baxter and Sister Julie Donahoe gave me this book. She passed 62 years old. Still young. Val Kilmer, Batman, gone. He played in Batman Forever. He played in Tombstone. He was Doc Holliday. I'll be your Huckleberry. And Saint, that movie Saint. He played in a lot of movies. Heat. He played in Heat with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. Gone. Why, Ike? Whatever do you mean? That's when he played Doc Holliday. I'll be your Huckleberry. Gone, 65 years old, died from pneumonia. May the Most High have mercy on both of their souls. It's especially somebody I said, my goodness. Folks checking in and checking out. Babies being born, other people dying every day. Every day somebody dying. But condolences to both of their families. But give the Most High praise, honor, and glory that you are here today. But I'm going to stop blabbering. We're going to get to our greetings because I love the people. Y'all don't know how much this ministry has grown. We have grown when it was just me. Knowing that the Most High wanted me to do this, I didn't have no idea how to do it. But we have grown from the living room to look. This might not be much to a lot of people, but it's a lot to me. I said, my good, we ain't have no tables. Tables, what's those? Chairs, what's those? People, what are those? That's why I'm just thankful for everybody that has hooked up with this ministry and allowed us to do all of the things that we are doing, even this Passover. We gonna be able to host a Passover, ain't we? We're going to try to host a lot of feast days. Maybe not all of them, but have a lot of, even Hanukkah. We're going to have a Hanukkah lighting service one night. You know, when it do come back around. For anybody that might want to show up, we just going to do it to give our children something else, you know, and to explain to them what's going on with our people. Y'all, I'm just thinking, don't y'all ever think Brother Ronnie's not grateful for anything that anybody has done, from a donation to a like, subscribe, you know, a text message, just encouraging. I appreciate all that stuff, because at first it was nobody. It was little meager beginnings. Wasn't we in meager beginnings? Yeah. Then don't let the Ohio crew came down for the baptism. I'll never forget. The matter of fact, I wrote that down. Sister Erica, she called me. Like, if I can find it real quick. Well, what day was that call? She called me, Brother. No, she didn't say Brother Ronnie. She said, Maury. She said, I just want you to, me and sister, I ain't gonna say her real name, but Sister Yanice, would you be our pastor? I said, sure I can, please. Yeah, sure I can. What day did I write that date? I don't forget where I put it at, but I'll come back with that another day. But it's wrote in my book right here. I said, I sure can. They know they got a special place. Can't wait to meet Elder Henry one day. Blessing to the ministry. Can't wait to see, double honor to the elders. Can't wait to see him one day. You know, I just appreciate everybody. There was the ministry. The Jamesons helped us out big time with a lot of things. Just trying to let y'all know, I'm thankful. That song, I'm grateful for everything the Most High has done, and a lot of things that He has done through you guys. For the folks here, to the people online, and folks that ain't here today that's been hooked up with the ministry, you know. Just appreciate it. But let me go ahead and get to Grind Like Josh and Sister Jasmine Dana Armstead. Thank you for coming on in today. Appreciate you. You know I appreciate you. They'll be here. Huh? Yeah, Elder. I said Elder already. I said I can't wait to meet him. Yeah, but Auntie said you better get on Elder. Elder Henry, double honor to the elders. Elder DeMarcus as well. Thank you for coming on in today. You know. But the Armstead, they'll be here this weekend for the Passover. Mama J. Pope, thank you for coming on in. We thankful that you are here. It's a blessing to see you. Blessing to see you. You know, your family, Lavon and Lady Evelyn. It's a blessing to have you with us. Sterling, Silva, hi, Silva, and Sister Sophie. Forgot to say something to Sister Sophie last week. I had to make her a video. A little 10-second video. Sister Sophie! And sent it to Sterling. Because, you know, I don't be texting other men's wives. I don't play them kind of games. Let him give it to them. You know, am I right? Yeah. Am I right? Because if somebody send my wife a personal message on their personal phone, first I'm going to hit her and get her right. And then I'm going to deal with the knucklehead. You know what I mean? Hey, come here, man. Didn't you know that was my woman? Oh, you did? Oh. Bam. Get them. Yeah, but yeah, the Warren family. So nice to have them in the house. Auntie, I see you on the second row. Thank you. Servant of Yahuwah, Shabbat Shalom to you. Yanice, Baby Charlotte, Warrior Caleb. Thank you for coming on in. That's some more Ohio crew. They don't know how much they mean. They don't know how much they mean to this ministry. They just do not know. Key to life. They don't know how much they mean to this ministry too. Key to life is Torah. Thank you for coming on in, North Carolina crew. What it do? Rosie, she came down before. Yeah, came on down, got dunked in the water like an Oreo cookie and some milk. You hear me? Kelvin Ben Yahuwah, blessings to you. Brother Yehuda and Sister Pam, I am. Shabbat Shalom to you too as well, family. Mama CA checked on me this week. She know we were having storms and everything around here. Mama CA said, you all right? I said, yeah, we all right. We need a boat around this joint. Man, it was a lot of rain, wasn't it? My goodness, I'm just thankful our power didn't get cut off too. I was like, man, I'm just happy, you know. But Chief Saunders, I see you, brother. I see you, bro. Woody Security, need you at the front door, bro. We ain't seen you in a while. I gotta put you on the spot, bro. We ain't seen you in a while. But anybody that's here, thank you for coming on in. Appreciate everybody for coming on in today. I'm going to decrease that he might increase. Got a great lesson for you. Yeah, Sister Yanice said it been storms out the chain there too. Man, I was like, my goodness. Not only that, you know, what happened in Japan. Then some stuff happened where a lot of people died. What happened up there? Out there? Earthquakes. One building, y'all see that building just collapse? I hope nobody wasn't in it. Was somebody in it?
81 employees.
81 employees. Just building just collapse on you. My goodness. Would it be better to be on the first or the last floor? I mean the upper floor or the bottom floor? Huh?
Neither one.
But if you're on the bottom floor, it all fall on you. On the top row, you might or be on top of the roof. Not inside the roof, on top of the roof. You know, swimming in the pool that's on the top roof. Man, that was it was just a shock to even look at. Could you imagine being in there? Woo. Yeah. He said always present. Brother, I mean on the front row right here. But we just thank everybody for coming on in today. Thank everybody for coming on in today. And I'm going to decrease that he might increase because I can't wait to teach this lesson today. Can't wait. You hear me? Wait. You done got cold that fast again? All right. But Sister Yanice got a better one coming. That's a little, I don't think I paid $10, $15 for that one. All right, but I'm going to decrease that he might increase, and we're going to pray and get on into it. I pray that I'm not too long before you today, but who knows? And you better not say, if folks can listen to Cory Booker for 25 straight hours, you sure can listen to Brother Ronnie for 2 or 3. Cory Booker, 25. What he got to say that can, look, I bet y'all, I'm probably right there all 25 hours, wasn't he? But when he up in here, he tapping the clock. Were you up for the whole 25?
No, I wouldn't.
At least by to 12 of them, weren't you? Shoot, if you can listen to Cory Booker for 25 hours.
30 minutes news. That was it.
All right, I'll take you at your word. Let me make sure it pops on YouTube, and then we'll pray and get on into it. And YouTube been playing some games. Do y'all know when we left here last week, we was at 30 likes. The next morning, it was 24. I said, nah. Then we 7 away from 1,000. We inching on. So Auntie said, well, you just wait till it's 1,010, then you'll be in there safe. I said, yeah, you're right. Huh? No, hold on. My wife said yours wrong. Hold on, let me see. Not now, you two want me to do a 5-star rating or something. Yeah, 2 since this morning at 995. We 5 away. Praise the Most High. But we went from 9 to 995. Woo, 995. That's how much my book gonna cost, by the way, too. 995 plus shipping and handling. Nah, I'm messing around. But Abba, Heavenly Father, we just thank you for today, your holy Sabbath day, the day you hung in creation many millennia ago. Father, we just thank you for all of your people that are here today, and we thank you that you will bless them. We thank you that you will edify them, and we thank you that you would change them for the better in their lives. Father, we just thank you right now that they won't just be hearers of your word, but they will be doers of your word, because hearers get the faith, doers get the results. Father, we just thank you right now. Give them a special miracle. Give them a special blessing. Answer the issues in their life on today. Father, right now, we just give you alone all the praise, honor, and glory. Do your name, and we bind the devil. We cast him out because we know he is doomed, damned, and defeated. Father, we just thank you right now. Your Ruach will flow, your spirit will flow, and cause me to say the things that I need to say to minister life to your people. And right now, we will flow in unity. We will flow in peace. And we pray all this in the powerful, powerful name of your Son, Yeshua HaMashiach. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. I'm excited. I'm so excited today. You know, Passover coming up. That's the most important. Boy, y'all don't know what Yeshua did for us. You have no idea what kind of trouble we were in. You have no idea. But what we talking about today? When did the Messiah keep the Passover? Well, he kept it in the Passover. Yeah. We gonna see today. But again, when did he keep the Passover? You know, that's what they call it, the Last Supper, don't they? Some people say the Last Supper wasn't the Passover. Well, if it wasn't the Passover, when did he do it then? We don't see nowhere else where he took nothing, do we? So it has to be a Passover meal. But we have two possible answers to the question. The evening of the 14th going into the 15th, you know, that's how it's outlined in the Bible. Or the evening of the 13th going into the 14th. If it is, I tell you, if it is the first choice, then Yeshua is not the Passover lamb, and Matthew, Mark, and Luke contradict the Gospel of John. Now, we know we can't have no contradictions, can we? But if the second is correct, then Yeshua is the actual Passover lamb, and none of the Gospels contradict. And, you know, the reason why I decided to do this lesson, because everybody doing the Passover a different day, ain't they? Gathered the GOCC with Elder Ricard. Mad respect for the brother. They did it March 14th. They already done the Passover a whole month ago. IUIC, you know, with I forgot his name. But a powerful brother. You know, his name will come back to me. You know, the guys that wear purple, they be marching through the streets, look like a beautiful thing, don't they? They be well unison and organized. You know, I don't agree with everything they talk about. Truth unedited. Mad respect, man. His scholarship is on point. April the 1st at even. Straightway. Pastor Dow. They doing it the same day we doing it at even. Israel of God. They right across the street over there. They doing it. And for them, yeah, brother Nathaniel. That's right. You got it. Thank you, Sister Yanice. How'd I forget his name that fast? See him on YouTube all the time. But Israel of God, they doing the same even we doing, but they say that the actual Passover is the same day that the Jews say. They just are taking it the same time that Yeshua took it. Ooh. Gonna come up big. Just listen to the class. NCCI, they doing it like us. 119 Ministry, they are doing it like the Jews that you see down at the bottom. All right? But what Rap Ministry doing? April the 11th at even. Again, what day did the Messiah keep the Passover? Because what's this a picture of that a lot of people got in their house?
Last Supper.
That's the Last Supper. But this ministry right here said there wasn't no Passover meal. It wasn't. When did he do what? So that means he didn't take the Passover then, don't it? But again, you know, and I got to remind our Sunday Christian folks, beware of the great switcheroo. Some of you guys are in Easter when you should be doing what? Passover. Yeshua ain't got nothing to do with Easter. He don't got nothing to do with none of these things. The Passover season represents the what? The New Year. Because the world, what they tell us, the one on the far left, what season is that? Winter. Then what season we got?
Spring.
Now, the Most High in his holy word say that the spring is the new year, but the powers that be, they say that what is the new year?
Winter.
How y'all think I know? Because on the eve of December 31st going to January 1st, everybody was, "Ooh, Happy New Year." When we went back to work, everybody was saying what? How was your New Year? You know, when they asked Brother Ronnie, I said, "Oh, my January 1st was good." You know that ain't the New Year, right? Who you talking about? Read your Bible. Deuces. You know, I just plant seeds. Because that's what the world say. That's what they say. But this is what the Bible say. The Bible say what? Spring, then what? Summer, then what? Fall, then what? Winter. That's it. I just put these in because these some beautiful pictures, ain't they? Aren't they? I said, ain't they? Aren't they? But we're going to go to Exodus 12, 1 through 6, because we're going to show you when you're supposed to be doing the Passover. It says, and the Most High spake unto Moses and Aaron, Miss Josh today. You know, got used to, and see, when you get used to a reader, you get used to a reader. And the Most High spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, who was the Most High speaking to? Moses and Aaron. Where were they? In Egypt. It said in the land of Egypt. This month, which is Nisan, Nisan is actually the pagan name, but it is Abib, that's the Hebrew. And it says, Abib shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. So when is the new year? The first day of Nisan, or Abib. So what is Abib? That word Abib is, it says a fresh young barley ears. Barley. It's a month of ear forming, of green of the crop. Green. Greenery. Right? That's when the spring is new beginnings. It says of a greening of a crop, of growing green. Month of Exodus and Passover, it can be March or April. It says from an unused root, meaning to be tender. You know, tender love. Love so tender. Not that tender. I wanna be close to you. You know that song. Baby, I surrender. Now surrender to the Messiah. Candles, they light the hall. You can cut an album, can't I?
No, you can't.
Auntie just dash your hopes, and I said I can cut an album, and she said no, you can't. She just dash your hopes and your dreams.
The truth will set you free.
The truth will set me free, she say. But you see Abib. But let's go back. But let's say, so Deuteronomy 16:1 also tell you, observe the month of Abib and what? Keep the Passover unto the Most High your Elohim, for in the month of Abib the Most High thy Elohim brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt. Speak ye unto the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of this month they shall take to them every man a lamb. Got to get your lamb. According to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of souls. Every man according to the eating shall eat his eating shall make your account for the lamb. Me and my wife, we gotta have a lot of lamb up in here, don't we? We gonna have it. Matter of fact, we gonna have the table set up in U shape. We gonna have it. We gonna be at our own Last Supper. Yeah. Yeah, fam. I got to come back here tomorrow and set a lot of stuff up. We're going to have it right. And we're going to go into, you know, how I did the ancient Hebrew wedding. Like I showed you the 12 steps for Yeshua to come back. We're going to show you some of the, see, a lot of people don't know Yeshua was a rabbi. He followed some traditions, didn't he? He followed a lot of traditions that they had. And people don't know a lot of the traditions that they had was right there in the Last Supper. Oh, so when we doing the Last Supper, we going to be talking about some of them traditions as we go live in living color. They ain't going to see y'all. They going to see live in the living color. The next day, we going to talk about the 4 cups. Ooh, the only cups we need to be worrying about is the, that cup that represents his blood, ain't we? And then that cup that's in their kingdom, ain't it? Because he said, I drink it anew with you in my Father's kingdom. Them really the only 2 cups we need to be worrying about. There's some more cups. In their tradition, they got the cup of the blessing and all that. Oh, man. Matter of fact, that's why I suggest everybody get you one of these right here. Erdman's Handbook to the Bible. It's good. Real good. I sent Sister Erica coming up again. She remember the drawing we had? Sent her one of these. So I think we gave a couple of these out. I got 2 of them at the house. Paperback and a hardback. I always like a paperback and a hardback. The paperback I can carry around. The hardback stay on my shelf and make the room look real nice, But yeah, miss that sister. You know what I mean? You miss your friends. But I'll see her again. When Yeshua come back, he hit that sky, she'll be with him. So, but let's keep it pushing. It says, y'all Y'all just don't know. She sent me a little funny stuff. I was like, would you stop? But it used to be funny. She had a sense of humor on her. But it says, your lamb shall be without blemish. Was Yeshua without blemish? Yeah, he didn't sin. A male of the first year. Ye shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats, and ye shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. That's 3 to 6 p.m. Right? But I want to just show you something, just in case because the Jews of today, they call Rosh Hashanah, they call that the New Year. No, that is not the New Year. So this is a little. I think this is from My Jewish Learning, a little article that was there. It says how Rosh Hashanah. What it say? Became the new. So meaning what? It wasn't always considered the New Year. Let's read what it says. It said an effort to strike a balance between a particularistic loyalty to Jewish religion and nationhood, and a more universalistic commitment to the human community, played itself in the struggle to set a date for the beginning of the Jewish calendar year. The two possibilities were Nisan, the months of Passover, and Tishri. You know, that's the month where we have trumpets and everything. The month of what is known as the festival of Rosh Hashanah, or the Feast of Trumpets. They said we got two possibilities. No, we don't got two possibilities. What the Bible say was the New Year. Abib, the month Nisan, the month of Abib. That's the first month for you. Ain't no two choices.
That's right.
It says in the Torah, the beginning of the year was clearly set at the first of what? Case closed. Ain't nothing else to talk about. In the context of a description of the first Passover, the Most High said to Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, this month shall mark for you the beginning of months. It shall be the first of months of the year for you. That's it, Exodus 12, 1 through 2, which we just read. This new year celebrated the creation of the Jewish nation through the redemption of the Israelites from Egypt. Nisan, can you have two New Years?
You cannot.
You cannot. I don't know what they're talking about, but let me skip ahead. But it is surprising that the Torah made no mention of year at 1 Tishri, which is today so central to the Jewish religious experience. He ain't said nothing about Tishri being that month or the New Year, did he?
He did not.
Look down, I'm going to skip down. It says the name Rosh Hashanah is not mentioned, nor is there a reference to function as a day of judgment and anniversary of the world's creation. It said it ain't in there. So what did it come by? It comes from the Mishnah, Hillel and Shammai, tradition. Sometimes Yeshua did some traditions. One, he did Hanukkah, for sure. One, he practiced hand washing. You remember they said, why don't your disciples wash their hands when they eat bread? They didn't say, why didn't you? And they didn't like him, so they sure would have been like, why don't you? He even quoted some tradition, didn't he? When he said, which one of you, when your sheep fall down in a hole, won't get them out on the Sabbath day? He was using tradition on them. Binding and loosing. That's what rabbis did. When you a teacher, me, I'm a teacher by profession. You got different levels of students. Sometimes when you are teaching, some children not getting it. So you have to scaffold back. You can't teach them like you teach everybody else. Even when I was in coaching basketball, I coached bigger kids, so we had all the rules applied. But when we used to get there early for the game, we would be like the second or third game. I'll be watching third graders play. They didn't have traveling for the third graders. They just let them run around in the kindergarten. They let them just run around with the ball. That's what you call binding and loosing. You loosen the rules until they learn how to do them. You see what I'm saying? Would I go to, all right, layup lines today? I want all y'all slam dunking instead of laying up. Would that work with a 5-year-old? No. And then you get mad at them. Why aren't you slam dunking? They're going to be coached. It's 10 foot tall. I don't care. The rule is dunk. That would be crazy, wouldn't it? But again, when did he take it? So I want to ask my good friend, when did he take it? See, you're supposed to take the Passover going into the 14th at evening going into the 15th. That's when you take it. Yeshua didn't take it at that time. No, he didn't take it. We're going to show you why. But Chat GPT, tell us. So this is what I asked Chat. I said, did Yeshua eat the Passover early? Chat GPT said yes. According to the gospel accounts, it seems that Yeshua celebrated the Passover meal, often referred to as the Last Supper, a day earlier than the traditional Passover feast. Why would he do that? We going to show you. It's a reason why he did it. In the synoptic gospels, people don't know that John is not considered a synoptic gospel. They don't know that. So you just quiz your Sunday Christian friend and say, well, what are the synoptic gospels? Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. No, John is not a synoptic gospel. Why? Because it has 90% more information than the other three. People don't know that. See, they just read one of them and then, it is what it is. But it said in the synoptic gospels, the Last Supper is described as a Passover meal that Yeshua shared with his disciples. But in the Gospel of John, the timing is different. The Gospel of John suggests the Last Supper occurred before the start of Passover during the day of preparation for the Passover feast, which would be the 14th of Nisan in the Jewish calendar. It said the difference in timing is often explained by these, and I don't agree with what they finna say. It said different calendars or tradition. There were different ways of reckoning days among the Jewish community at the time, and Jesus may have followed a different tradition in terms of when to celebrate the meal. Bull jive! No, he didn't. We're going to show you. They said symbolic meaning. So, getting choked up. Symbolic meaning, trying to go too fast. I'm so excited. You ever seen a dog on a leash just ready to get out of there? Or you ever seen greyhound dogs, how they come out of there? They running, boy, don't they? That's how I feel right now. And greyhounds, some big dogs, ain't it? Can't outrun them either, can you? But I can kick them. You hear me? They'll get a boot. He tried to attack me, but I don't think greyhounds are violent dogs like that. It says symbolic meaning. Some scholars believe that John in particular places the Last Supper before the Passover to emphasize that Yeshua is the Lamb of God, symbolizing the ultimate sacrifice for the people, just as the Passover lamb was sacrificed in Jewish tradition. So while the majority of the Gospels suggest that Yeshua ate the Passover meal a day early, it's important to understand that the timing might have been influenced by both theological and historical factors. And then here's another one. I said, did he eat on the 13th of Nisan? They said the question of whether Yeshua ate, I'm telling you he did, but it still was the 14th. It was the 13th, but he ate it at evening, so at evening it was actually what? The 14th. So that's when he ate. But it's still the 14th. You see what I'm saying? But watch this. It said the question of whether Yeshua ate the Passover on the 13th of Nisan is a topic of debate among scholars, mainly due to the different accounts found in the Gospels. I'm telling you, ain't no difference in either four of the accounts. What do you mean, Brother Ronnie? The scholars just said 3 is different from the 4. They not. We're going to show you they not. Right? Mm-hmm.
He said, no, sir. You can't sing.
Sir, I can't sing. Tender love, love so tender. They like, it ain't tender. It's tender, sir. Tender. I'm just country. I ain't a country. My principal, when I'm teaching, he come in and evaluate you. He type everything you say. If I say y'all, guess what he done typed? Y'all. I said, my goodness, Mr. David, did you have to put it in there like that? I just you did an excellent job though. I'm like, he was like, there's nothing wrong with that. This is how you talk. Oh, okay. All right. So he must have been good this time. Straight 5. 7 5s. You hear me? But it says, the synoptic gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, the gospel suggests that Yeshua celebrated the Passover meal, the Last Supper, on the evening of the 14th of Nisan, which would be the traditional time for the Passover meal. In the Jewish tradition, the Passover meal was eaten at the evening of the 14th, marking the start of the Passover festival. The Gospel of John, John's Gospel presents a different timeline. No, it doesn't. We're going to explain it to you. Your understanding, scholars, is just wrong. That's how y'all come to the conclusion there ain't no more law. It indicates that Yeshua's crucifixion took place on the day of preparation for the Passover, which was the 14th of Nisan. Right. Y'all right on that. According to John, this would place the Last Supper before the official start of the Passover meal, making it likely to have occurred on the evening of the 13th of Nisan, a day earlier than the other Gospels suggest. No, it doesn't. You just don't understand. So why the difference? John's chronology, the Gospel of John seems to position Yeshua's death as happening at the same time the Passover lambs were slaughtered. He was. He had to be slaughtered at that time to be the Passover lamb. We're going to show you. It says, which was on the 14th of Nisan. This suggests that Yeshua was symbolically the Lamb of Yah, sacrificed at the same time as the Passover lambs, fulfilling the role of the ultimate sacrifice. In the Synoptic Gospel, these Gospels follow the traditional Jewish calendar, where the Passover meal was eaten on the 14th of Nisan after what? After sunset. So they know they think it's a difference, don't they? I'm gonna tell you, it ain't no different. They all four the same. All four the same. All four. He did take it earlier. He took it earlier. We're gonna show you why. But so the thing we need to figure out is, when is the day of unleavened bread? The Passover is the 14th, that night going into the 15th. Once you take the Passover, it's now the 15th, and the 15th is the first day of unleavened bread. So let's read in Leviticus 23, 4 through 8. It said, these are the feasts of Yahuwah. These are the feasts of the Jews. Do it say that? That means it belong to him, don't it? They don't belong to him no more. No, they still his feast. All of them. Because when Yeshua come back, we're going to be right back at Tabernacles, ain't we? It said, it was keeping Sabbaths too. It says, these are the feasts of Yahuwah, or some say the Lord. And I don't have a problem with people saying, I don't, I know what they talking about. I don't have a problem. But for me, I say Yahuwah. Is that my prerogative?
It is.
I can do what I want to do. It's my prerogative. Tell me why can't I live my life? Live my life. How was that key to life? Let me know. 1 to 10. On the scale of 1 to 10, let me know.
0.
0. Ushers. Unlock the doors and get out of here. Marvin Sapp, lock the doors. Lock the doors. I need 10 people to give $500 before you leave. Lock the door. Boy, didn't you hear me say lock the door? They know I'm playing. Lock that door. Where you going, huh? Did you put your 500 in? He told the ministers behind him, y'all all got to pay because it costs to be up here.
Mm-hmm.
It costs. What do you mean? Yeshua said freely you have received, freely what? Give. Give them the water of life what? Freely. He cutting up. But anyway, it says the 14th day of the first month at even is whose Passover? Yahuwah's Passover. And the 15th day of the same month is the what? The feast of unleavened bread unto Yahuwah. 7 days ye shall eat unleavened bread. They said on the scale of 1 to 10, terrible. They said terrible. Oh man, how y'all gonna do a brother like that? They said like child, terrible. It's terrible. Terrible, bruh. But on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of, so we got the 14th, that's at the evening, that's the Passover, going into what? The 15th. Right? It says 7 days ye must eat unleavened bread. In the first day ye shall have an holy convocation, get together, and you shall do no servile work therein. But ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Most High 7 days. That's how, for one, we know we can't keep unleavened bread today, and we can't make no offering by fire today, can we? So it's optional if you want to do it. Now, drinking the bread and the wine, eating the bread and drinking the wine, you got to do that. But the other stuff is unnecessary, right? So let's compare. Let's look, because they said the synoptic gospels have it during a different day, don't they? Didn't they say that? So let's look at it. Matthew 26:17 said, now the first day of the feast of unleavened bread. That said the first day. So that would be what day?
15.
That would be the 15th. Now, the next one, Mark says, and the first day of unleavened bread is saying the first day of unleavened bread. Don't it? Well, then Luke says, then came the day of unleavened bread. That does it. Now, what does John say? Now, before the feast of Passover. Oh, we got a contradiction, don't we? Matthew, Mark, and Luke seem to say that Yeshua ate it like the 14th going into the 15th. But John says, now before the feast of Passover. Before. Wait a minute. We got a big contradiction on our hand, don't we? Yes, yeah, it's a lot of false doctrine out there. Brother Kevin Ben Yahuwah, I just ignore it. And really too, I'm after Passover season, after Pentecost and everything, I'm gonna start doing like different classes on different religions. Like Jehovah's Witness gonna be the first one. Somebody from YouTube asked me, could I do it? I said, I'd do it. And I just been running into Jehovah's Witnesses all over the place. I said, that means the Most High want me to do it. But before we look into this, it is important to know that the Passover and unleavened bread are sometimes what? Used interchangeably. But you say, but Brother Ronnie, even if they are, we gonna show you what it is. So we got to fact check this, what I just said. It's important to know that the Passover and unleavened bread are interchangeable. We got to fact check that. You can't just listen to what I say. Yes. So I asked ChatGPT and said, yes. In the terms of Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread were sometimes used what? Interchangeably. Key difference. The Passover or Pesach, not Easter, Pesach, this refers specifically to the 14th day of Nisan. The Feast of Unleavened Bread is the 15th to the 21st. So, similarly, in the Old Testament, Ezekiel 45:21 mentions a 7-day Passover feast, which aligns with the Feast of Unleavened Bread. The unleavened bread. So you see it over there to the right. In the first month, in the 14th day of the month, ye shall have the Passover, a feast of 7 days. Unleavened bread shall be eaten. So it smashed them all together, don't it? Sometimes it's just known that the whole feast is known as unleavened bread, and sometimes the whole feast is just known as what? Passover. But during the time, and during them 7 days, you eating what? Unleavened bread. Right? Now, Luke 21 says, now the feast of unleavened bread drew nigh, which is called the what? Passover, right? To the right. It's called the Passover. They use interchangeably. While the terms of the Passover, you just see it. These telling you they use what? Interchangeably. Go to the next one. This is from BibleReference.com. Directly following the Passover is the 7-day feast of unleavened bread. By the time of Christ, Passover and the feast of unleavened bread are used interchangeably and collectively. Go to BibleReference.com if you want to get that. But you said, well, brother, I don't care if they all together. It right there. It said the first day, and then one said before the feast. Which is it? We're going to show you. I'm going to tell you that John chapter 13 is the right one. We're going to show you. You know I always show you. So we're going to look at Matthew, the Last Supper. Because guess what these people just said? 119 Ministry, they said, you can watch their video. Brother, I got all their videos on a flash drive that I bought from them. I done watched all their stuff. They got some good stuff, man. I ain't gonna lie. Some of it good. Not all of it. I would say 90% of what they teach is spot on. They teach soul sleep doctrine. I don't agree with that. They said black people ain't the chosen people in the book. I don't believe that neither. They said that the Last Supper was not a Passover meal. I don't believe that neither. So it's some stuff that they say that I don't agree with everything everybody say. Do you?
No.
Nobody knows everything. But let's go to Matthew. It said this is the Passover. In the Bible, it said over the top, the Passover with the disciples. It says, now the first day of the feast of unleavened bread, the disciples came to Yeshua, saying unto him, where wilt thou that we prepare for thee to eat the Passover? So they asking him, when we going, where you want us to go so we can keep the Passover? Verse 18, and he said, go into the city. So if he didn't eat it, what would he have said? He would say, stop there, we ain't gonna take it no way. So we know he did, didn't we? They said, where wilt thou that we prepare for thee to eat the Passover? And he said, go into the city to such a man and say unto him, the master saith, my time is at hand. The master, this is Yeshua saying, go say to the man who place you finna go get, my time is at hand. I will keep the Passover at thy house with my disciples. So is Yeshua lying?
No.
Nah. And the disciples did as Yeshua had appointed them, and they made ready the Passover. Now when the even was come, he sat down with the 12. And I'm saying even Judas. He sat down with them, didn't he? Verse 21, and as they did eat, they did what?
Food.
They were eating. He said, verily I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me. And they were exceedingly sorrowful and began every one of them to say unto him, Lord, is it I? You know if you're going to betray somebody or not. And he answered and said, it is he that dippeth his hand with me in the dish. So he got to be eating. He dipping some hands, ain't it? You know, that was one of the tradition they had. They would dip some in, they would, dip it in some salt water. We ain't going to be doing all that. We going to talk about it, but we ain't going to be doing all that. He said, the same shall betray me. Then the Son of Man goeth as it is written of him. But woe unto that man to whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It had been good for that man if he had not been born. Ooh, not been born? Not the goo goo gaga? His mom and dad was happy when he came out. Yeshua said it was better that he not be what? That's wild. Would you want the Messiah to say it's better for you not to have been born? Huh? A lot of people betray him every day when they turn from the faith and say he ain't real. It's better you hadn't been born. Then Judas, which betrayed him, said unto him, Master, is it I? He said unto him, thou hast, you said it, it's you. And as they were eating, see now, this is what Christians do. Now, they still sitting at the same supper. Y'all paying attention? What I just say? They still, so now Christians in the Bible, they'll put institution of the Lord's Supper. He done already told you what is, wait a minute, hold on. What did he say back here, Auntie? He said, observe, it says, no, not that one. I need Leviticus. Watch this. He done already told you it's his feast. It said, the 14th day of the first month at even is the what?
Lord's Passover.
Or his supper. So they'll try to go in here. Now, they already sitting down eating the what? The Passover. Watch this. So then they'll try to say, or this the institution of the Lord's Supper. This is something different. No, it's not. At the same, did it say they did something? No, as they were eating. As they were eating what? All this stuff they were just doing. As they were eating, Yeshua took bread and blessed it and brake it and gave it to the disciples and said, take, eat, this is my what? And he took the cup and gave thanks and gave it to them, saying, drink ye all of it. For this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins. But I say unto you, he said, I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of the fruit of the wine until that day when I drink it anew with you in my Father's kingdom. In his Father's kingdom. Not the Jehovah Witness kingdom in 1916 that they said happened. You know that Charles Russell, he said, what'd he say? Oh, yeah, the kingdom gonna come in 1916. Oh, he said 1914. I think he died in 1916. So he didn't get to see the kingdom, did he? Man. Oh, you wait, that's coming. Just wait. He said, I'll drink it with you. But after this meal, all of this stuff happened next. All of this. In all the accounts, most of the accounts. They sang a song on the Mount of Olives. They probably were singing the Hillel song. You can see it in Matthew 26, and Mark 14. The prediction of Peter's denial. That's in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. All this is the same chronological order. He prayed in the garden in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. He arrested in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. But they said that's a different meal he ate. So when did he eat the Passover then? Because all of this happened after this stuff. Faces the Sanhedrin in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Handed to Pilate in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Dies on the tree in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. After what? After this meal right here. So how was it not a Passover? He either did or he didn't. And he said himself, I will what? I will eat with you. So let's look at Mark's account. Mark 14, 12 to 25. Bear with me. Because I ain't dealt with it. Said the day, Matthew, Mark, and Luke said it was the first day of unleavened bread on all else, didn't it? We're going to show you in a second. The first day of unleavened bread when they killed, it said the first day of unleavened bread when they killed the Passover, his disciples said to him, where wilt thou that we go and prepare that thou mayest eat the Passover? And he sent forth 2 of his disciples and said unto them, go ye into the city, and you shall meet a man bearing a pitcher of water. Follow him. And wheresoever he shall go, say to the good man of the house, the master said, where is the guest chamber, where I shall eat the Passover with my disciple? We just seen the meeting. So is the Last Supper, was that a Passover meal? Yes, it was. But the key is, what day was it when he ate it? We're going to show you the day. And he will show you a large upper room, furnished and prepared there, make ready for us. And his disciples went forth and came in the city and found, as he had said unto them, they made ready to what? They made ready to Passover. Verse 17, and in the evening coming with the 12, and as they sat down and did eat, Yeshua said, verily I say to you, one of you which eateth with me shall betray me. And they began to be sorrowful and to say unto him one by one, is it I? Another said, is it I? And he answered and said unto them, it is the one of the 12 that dippeth with me in the dish. The Son of Man indeed goeth as it was written of him, but woe unto that man by whom the Son of Man betrayed. Good were it that for that man to not have been born. So, verse 22, and as they did eat, Yeshua took bread. See, they try to make this be a whole separate meal. No, you don't know the Jewish tradition. They took 4 cups. This was just one of the cups. This is the main cup. You hear me? And actually, in the Bible, it don't give us but what? 2 cups. They were 2. Really 2. If everybody really want to keep the Passover, they all drank out the same cup. You can't drink out the same cup these days. Can you? You got this folk with mononucleosis, herpes of the mouth. Come on, some. Look, I said, hey, look. Jokey joke. If you got that, the Most High can heal any disease in this world. Can't he? Leprosy? Can't he? AIDS? Can't he? Syphilis? Can't he? Gonorrhea? Can't he? Cancer? Yes. So I'm gonna need, if we gonna drink all out the same cup that we gonna pass around the table, y'all want to drink out the same cup?
No, sir.
No, I don't think so.
And that day too, make sure y'all wash y'all feet real good too. We might have some foot washing going on, especially you. Yeah, we don't see foot washing going on in people Passovers, do we? Do we? Oh my goodness! Y'all know Brother Ronnie is a jokester. Y'all know this. Hit that subscribe button, folks. 26 likes. I appreciate y'all. She said, Yanni said she down with foot washing. She down with it. My wife said one of y'all had communion before and y'all washed each other's feet, didn't they? They did. She said it was a home church.
Growing up in Mississippi,
Y'all used to, we done got away from all this stuff.
wash it once a year.
Yeah, foot washing. We gonna have some bleach for some of y'all. We gonna wash our feet in some bleach. You hear me? We ain't doing no water. We bleach water.
It won't hurt.
That way we all right. You know, we ain't trying to have no fungus among us. You know what I'm saying? I want my toenails turning black. You hear me? I like my toenails looking the flesh tone they supposed to look. But it said, as they did eat, Yeshua took bread and blessed it and brake it and gave it to them and said, take, eat, this is my body. And he took the cup, and when he had drank, he had given thanks. Of it. But do y'all agree that Judas drank and ate damnation upon himself?
He did.
That's why everybody can't come to the Passover. You have to eat and drink in a worthy manner. If you allow somebody to come and eat in the Passover, you're going to allow them to, and know they wrong, you're going to allow them to eat and drink damnation on themselves. I will not be a part of that. It's a serious thing. But what happened next after this? You seen it. We already showed you. All the singing a song, predicting the Peter's denial, praying in the garden, arrested, face the Sanhedrin, handed to Pilate, die on the tree. Let's look at Luke, because we getting to John. We about to get to John in a second. So let's look at Luke. It says, then the day of unleavened bread, then came the day of unleavened bread when the Passover must be killed. It said the day of unleavened bread when the Passover must be killed, but I thought they killed the lamb on the 14th. And the first day of unleavened bread is on the what?
15.
So let's look at when does the Passover lamb supposed to be killed? The animal was slain on the eve of Passover on the afternoon of the 14th of Nisan. But Luke saying that we at the Feast of Unleavened Bread. One, I already told you they use what? Interchangeably. That's one thing. But we're going to show you another thing in just a second. Just hang on. The animal was slain on the eve of the Passover on the afternoon of the 14th of Nisan after the Tamid sacrifice had been slaughtered, i.e. at 3 o'clock. Or in case the eve of Passover fell on Friday at 2. The slaughtering took place in the courtyard of the temple at Jerusalem. So I'm going to tell you this, Luke, this is actually the 13th, which is actually the 14th, because the date has already changed. Yeshua did eat on the 14th, but he did the 13th going into the what?
I mean the 14th.
The 14th.
Yeah.
Now, watch this. Let's show you how Yeshua died. This is the death of Yeshua now from the 6th hour, which is what time? Noon. There was darkness all over the land from the 9th to the... So he died at 3 p.m., just like it said what? The time that the Passover must be what?
Killed.
Must be killed. So we already got to say this. So, but if he eating the 14th going into the 15th, either he done got up off the ground super early, and then got up, resurrected, and then went to take the 14th going into the 15th, or something else going on. Right? Am I right? All right, let's keep it pushing. Let's go to so what I want to show you is that even with the Jews, we saw this in when does a day begin? Their evening started from, they called 3:30 the evening to 3:30 to what? 6:30. Just so you can see that at even, you can see it opsia. It's at either from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock p.m. So they would say that even would be, they say that even, they do that so that you won't break the Sabbath. They added some extra hours to the evening, to leading up, and we're going to call the evening earlier now. You see what I'm saying? So instead of the evening being 6:30, they started at what?
6. Oh, 3.
3, auntie, 3. or 3 instead of 6, 3. All right, but let's look at this. Let's go back to it. Then came the day of unleavened bread when the Passover must be killed. Now this might seem like overkill, but we gotta let you see, get the concepts in your brain. And then came the day of unleavened bread when the Passover must be killed. That's the 14th at 3 o'clock. But if Yeshua took the Passover the 14th at 6 o'clock going into the 15th, he didn't even got crucified and then rose up and then came back to keep the Passover, or so we got something else going on. We know he didn't do that. And he sent Peter and John saying, go prepare us the Passover that we may what? And they said unto him, where without that we prepare? And he said unto them, behold, when we are entered into the city, there should be, we already seen this. And when we going to eat the Passover? They made ready the Passover. Let's skip ahead. It says, and when the hour was come, he sat down with the 12 apostles with him, and he said unto them, with desire I have desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer. For I say unto you, I will not any more eat thereof until, see, I'm going to die. Next year I ain't eating the Passover with you. I ain't going to eat it the next year. The next year after that, the next year after that, the next year after that. He said, this Passover with you before I suffer. For I say unto you, I will not eat any more thereof until it be fulfilled in the kingdom of what? God, or Yah, or Elohim. And he took the cup and gave thanks and said, take this and divide it amongst yourselves. For I say unto you, I will not drink of the fruit of the vine until the kingdom of Yah shall come. Verse 19, and he took bread and he gave thanks and brake it and gave to them, saying, this is my body which is given for you. This do what? Likewise also the cup after supper, saying, this is the cup. Whoa, we see 2 cups, don't we? Likewise also the cup after supper, saying, this cup is the New Testament in my blood, which is what? Shed for you. But behold, the hand of him that betrayeth me is at the table with me, and truly the Son of Man goeth as it was determined. But woe unto that man by whom he is betrayed. And they began to inquire among themselves which of them it was that should do this. But we all know how they did this, the Last Supper, all of this stuff took place. The singing the song, prediction of the denial, praying in the garden, arrested, facing the Sanhedrin, handed to Pilate, dying on the tree. Now, we're going to get to the contradiction. We already seen, if it's the first day of unleavened bread, what's going on? We're going to show you. But this is correct. This one is correct. Now, before the feast of Passover or unleavened bread, before, when Yeshua knew that his hour was come, that he should, see, they said, well, John contradicts Matthew, Mark, and Luke. They all say it's the first day, don't they? But this says before, when Yeshua knew that this is the correct one. When Yeshua knew that his hour was come, that he should depart out of this world unto the Father, having loved his own which were in the world, he loved them unto the end. And the supper being ended, and the devil now having put into the heart of Judas Iscariot, don't let the devil put stuff in y'all's heart. So you ask him, can the devil put something in your heart? Can a devil put something in the heart of one of a disciple? Yes, Judas was a disciple, wasn't he? And the devil now having put into the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, but you got some people teaching that Judas is Peter's son. Because you know Peter's name is Simon. They teaching that. Yeah, you see there? Judas was Peter's son. What? Sit down, empty head. You don't know what you're talking about. Yeshua knowing that the Father had given all things into his hand. Yeshua knowing that the Father had given all things into his hand. Why did he give all things into Yeshua's hand? Because he what? Obeyed him. Do you know you give the responsibilities to the child you trust the most? The child is doing what you say. Right? Would you put it in a knucklehead hand? I'm trying to figure out which one I can trust on mine. I know I can't trust Rob. At this state, I can't trust the 6-year-old. Rachel? Yeah, I think so. Sometimes she be a little sneaky, though. When I come in her room, I know she wasn't doing that. I said, but you just look so guilty. Baby girl, same way. Mr. Ronald just always laid back. He always laid back. What you doing? Playing the game. What you doing? Movie. Just laid back. And he always been like, even as a baby, he didn't know. I said, do the boy cry? 5 years old, we took him to get his shots. I said, no crying. You a man. He got up there. They got him in that left eye. He said, took it. Got that left eye. 5-year-old. That doctor said he a strong boy. Said he strong. That last one I almost got him. And I almost got him, but he took him like a champ. I said, my boy. Took him to get some ice cream from Wendy's. The mothers. But I tell you, when we went there that day to get them shots, to get them shots, when we got in there, I said, why would they be letting all the other children in there holler, scaring them daylights out all the children? Ah, let me holler! Almost made me turn around. We'll be back tomorrow, bro. But he took it. He's always been laid back. Always been laid back. He got that coolness from me, though, you know. Yeah. But anyway, look at here, guys. What did he do? After the supper being ended, the devil having now put in the heart of Judas, we saw that already, he rising from the supper, he laid aside his garments, took a towel, and girded himself. After that, he poured the water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel wherewith he was girded. Then cometh he to Simon Peter, and Peter said unto him, Master, dost thou wash my feet? Yeshua said unto him, what I do thou knowest not now, but you will know later. Peter said unto him, you shall never wash my feet. Yeshua said, stop it. If I wash thee not, you ain't got no part with me. But we're going to look at that word before. That word is pro. Before the feast of Passover. It says before, of place, in front of, in advance of. Right? So we see what it means. But let's finish 13 up, and then we're going to explain the other three, the contradictions. We're going to explain it. And Peter said unto him, Lord, not my feet only, but also my hands and my head. Yeshua said unto him, he that is washed needeth not save to wash his feet. He said, he that is washed needeth not save to wash his feet, but is clean every whit. And ye are clean, but not all of y'all are clean. For he knew who would betray him. Therefore he said, ye are all not clean. Don't need no unclean people at the what? The Israel of God, they don't play. You go to their website, they say in order for you to take the Passover, you have to be baptized, circumcised. I say, well, how they gonna know that?
Somebody to check.
How they gonna know that? They gonna tell you pull your pants down?
You got deacons to check.
They right across the street. They don't play about it.
Show it.
We need to see your and not only that, if you're not circumcised, they got some doctors that can perform it for you. Wow. I admire that. I admire that about them. They ain't playing about the Passover. They don't want you to do what? Eat and drink what? Damnation on yourself. They love you that much. Pull your pants down. Boy, if I did that, Brother Running be on the news for the preacher told me to pull my pants down. No, I was trying to see if he was circumcised or not. That ain't even gonna even make it sound better, is it?
Let Auntie check.
Yeah, let Auntie check. Oh, we'll be on the news. Preachers want to look at be on the news. But anyway, you can't let everybody partake of the Passover. You don't want them eating and drinking damnation on themselves. You see what I'm saying? But anyway, after all of this, we know, do I got to run that down again? We know what happened. So again, we know that the death of Yeshua, when did it happen? Now, from the sixth hour, which is what time? Hour, there was darkness over all the land to the ninth hour, which is what? 3 o'clock. That's when he died. And at about the 9th hour, Yeshua cried with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. And that is to say, my Elohim, why have thou forsaken me? And he said, Yeshua, when he had cried again with a loud voice, he yielded up the ghost. So that means he what? At the what? 9th hour. At the what? At the 9th hour. How long was his darkness all over the land?
6 hours.
6 to the 9th hour. That's 3 hours of darkness. 3 or 4 hours of what? Darkness. Let's look at Mark 15:33. And when the 6th hour, noon was come, there was darkness all over the whole land until the 9th hour. Woo! Let's look at Luke 23:44. It says, I like the one in Luke. It said when it was about the 6th hour noon, there was a darkness over all the earth. The whole earth just dark. Until the 9th hour, which is 3 p.m. That's when the Passover lamb shall be killed, which is the 14th day at what? At 3 o'clock. That's when the Passover lamb was to be killed. That's the 14th day. Now we know he couldn't have ate the 14th going into the 15th because he already dead. Nobody ever explains this out. They don't. They just say, well, it just look like they contradict. No, they don't. Brother Ronnie, you gonna reconcile them? I am gonna reconcile them. You see, he dead. But let's skip to Mark 19:13. When Pilate therefore heard that saying, he brought Yeshua forth. And now this is the 14th day. And sat down in the judgment seat. This is before he even get on the cross or tree, whatever you want to say. And sat down in the judgment seat in the place that is called a pavement, but in the Hebrew Gabbatha. And it was the preparation of the Passover. And about what?
6 hours.
That's the 14th day. So we know he can't eat it going into the 14th, going into the 15th, can he? It's impossible unless he died and got up and then took it with him and then went back and laid down and said, oh, roll the stone back so I can get back in there. Did that happen? No. You see it? So now it's time to reconcile them. But before we do, what does John 13:1 say? Now before. So let's go. Let's do the reconciliation. Matthew 26. Now the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, it actually is now before the day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Brother Ronnie, you can't turn the first all the way until before? Stick around and you will see that I can. So if Matthew would say before the day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, wouldn't it agree with John then? It would. But we're going to give my good buddy right here, my good friend, Mr. Simon Altaf, his flowers again. You know this right here. Get you one of these. It's a lot. It costs a lot now. But it'll be worth it. I don't believe everything in his commentaries, but watch what he says on this. He said the Greek word here is what? Protos. In context means before, not as first as many translations have done. The King James Version says the first day. It should say what? Before. Mark 14:12. It says the first day of unleavened bread when they killed the Passover lamb. They didn't kill the Passover lamb on the first day of unleavened bread, did they? They killed him before it.
Yeah.
So actually, and before the day of unleavened bread when they killed the Passover. That's what it should say. I got the same slide in here, but that's the same thing. But let's see what he say. He said here the Greek word protos does not mean first, but means what? Before, because the chag or the feast day celebration of unleavened bread does not commence until after the Passover. He letting you, he know. But whoever translated the King James Version Bible, they didn't know. So let's look up the word protos. What did it say? It said that word is protos. It says foremost. In time, place, order of importance. Before. Be what?
Before.
That's what it say. So, and the thing is, you got to know your hours. A lot of people don't know their hours, do they? But you can take a look at it. Go to our class, when does the day begin? And we explain all that out. But we already know. Now, Yeshua, They already took their Passover. Now he before Pilate, but let's see what they do. Let's see if they had the Jews already ate their Passover. Then led Yeshua, then led they Yeshua from Caiaphas unto the hall of judgment. And it was early, and they themselves went not into the judgment hall, lest they should be defiled, but that they might eat the what?
Passover.
Wait a minute, Yeshua already ate. And now it's early in the morning. They ain't ate their Passover. They gonna eat their Passover later that day. Do you get this? So Yeshua ate the 13th, going into the 14th. He prayed and they sang songs and all of this, and then he was betrayed and arrested. Now it's early in the morning. They taking him to the judgment hall. But they went into. Most people don't know why they entered the judgment hall. Romans, guess what Roman people used to do? They used to bury their dead people, have them in their house buried. So the Jews knew if you go under a roof with a dead body, that renders you what? Unclean. Go do some research on that. Them Romans were some nasty folks. Just got dead people. Now they was in something in the walls or something, or you walk in there. How can you imagine eating dinner? Coffins and stuff all up in there. Oh, what's going on in here? But watch this. But they hadn't even ate the Passover yet. When do they eat it? Later that day, going into the 15th. Yeshua already took it that prior night. He had to do it before, because if he do it the 14th, and he ain't the Passover lamb. You gotta die like the lamb, don't you?
You do.
If you the Passover lamb, that's what people don't get. Even with first fruits. First fruits on Sunday. Trying to tell them. And then I find it mighty ironic. People say, oh, he died on Wednesday. Well, why did they wait all the way to Sunday to bring the spices? Why didn't they bring the spices the next day? Well, there was unleavened bread. Okay, so it wasn't unleavened bread. Okay, it was leavened bread. So why didn't they do it Friday then? Why did they wait all the way to Sunday? Not only that, why everybody showing up Sunday? Get to the road to Emmaus, it's Sunday. And they said, since all this is the third day, count back from. I don't care what kind of math you do. I don't care what kind of math you do. From when they said today is the first day of the week since all this has happened, all you got to do is count back 3 days, and that 3 days will not take you to Wednesday. So most people, then they'll shift their day from Wednesday to Thursday. No, you can't do that. You said, Daniel chapter 9 said that he'll die in the middle of the week. We hate Sunday so bad. Did the Most High make Sunday? He made all the days. It don't matter what day of the week he rose. You still got to keep the Sabbath. He got to be everything. He got to be the first fruit. Okay, let's say he did raise at the end of Sabbath, at the end of the day. That's still Sunday because the date changed, dummy. Am I right? But anyway, it said, Pilate then went out unto them and said, what accusation bring you against this man? They answered and said to him, if he were not a malefactor or an evildoer. Nobody, if I hadn't said he put evildoer in there, would you know what a malefactor was? Huh? Get you another translation. We already see this translation flawed, don't we? It got John saying something different from Matthew, Mark, and Luke. Don't it? That's why they need Brother Running to put it back right. That's why I'm doing my own Bible. I'm about to start Exodus. See, y'all think I just be playing around, don't you? People get their phone call, miss, they get all mad. He ain't call me back. He ain't done. Man, I got work to do. Don't you know what, Auntie? I got work to do. Don't, Auntie, when I'm talking on the phone, I got to go. I got some work to do. Don't I say that?
You do.
I call you back. What now, woman? No, I don't never do that. Okay, but they ain't ate the Passover. How they? But he had to be the Passover lamb. You already know, this is when he being inspected. He went in to Pilate. Then Pilate entered the judgment hall and called Yeshua and said unto him, art you the king of the Jews? Yeshua answered and said unto him, Yeshua so gangster, Say this your thing of yourself, or did other people tell you to say this? You saying this because you want to say it, or because other people asking you? Pilate, and some people say, see, he ain't the lamb. The Bible says that he won't open his mouth. When a sheep going to slaughter. I don't know no sheep on the way to get slaughtered. Meow. Ain't that what they say? Meh. So they don't say no bah on the way. No. What it means is Yeshua didn't buck. He didn't try to fight it. Pilate answered, am I a Jew? Thine own nation and the chief priests have delivered thee unto me. What hast thou done? Yeshua answered, my kingdom ain't of it. My kingdom is not of this world. So stop trying to be like it. If my kingdom were of this world, then my servants will fight, that I should not be delivered to the Jews. But now is my kingdom, but now is my kingdom not from hence. It ain't far from here. Pilate therefore said unto him, art thou a king then? Yeshua answered, thou sayest that I am a king. To this end was I born. And for this cause came I unto the world, that I should bear witness unto the truth. Everyone that is of the truth heareth my voice. Pilate said unto him, what is truth? And when he had said this, he went out again unto the Jews and said unto them, I find no fault. This lamb is spotless. He good to go. Let's go and kill him up. But he left it to the people. And they said, we want Yeshua. Give us Yeshua. We don't want Barabbas. Let Barabbas go. So you see that he had to be the what? The Passover lamb. But watch this. So what day did he eat the Passover, Auntie? Come on, Auntie. You've been sitting there all this time. The 13th? Yeah, you're right. Oh, I think it's it's a National Weather Service alarm. That my phone going or y'all phone going off? But he took it the 13th going into the 14th because he had to be the Passover lamb that was slaughtered at 3 p.m. He had to be that. So when he killed, so when he is killed, they bury him, and then Joseph of Arimathea buries him, and then the rest of Israel, what they do? They take the Passover in that evening going into the 15th. There's no contradiction in the Bible. If Matthew, Mark, and Luke said the first day of unleavened bread, Yeshua is not the Passover lamb, because the Passover lamb is slaughtered earlier at 3 p.m. You get that? But let's read this. It said, this is Paul. He said, for I have received of the master that which also I delivered unto you, that the master, Yeshua, the same night in which he was betrayed, took bread. The same night in which he was what? Betrayed. When he was betrayed, did they arrest him? Yes, Auntie, yes. He took it that night when he was betrayed. Yes. Then he went through all the other stuff, and then those people ate the 14th going into the what? To the 15th. We just correcting your King James Bible today. I ain't never heard nobody teach this. You? I haven't. No. And when he had given thanks, he brake it and said, take, eat, this is of my body, which is broken for you. This do ye in remembrance of me. When he tell him to do that? The night that he was betrayed. After the same, we're going to show you, well, how is he able to change rules and laws like that? How was he able not to do it the time, the day when he was supposed to do it? We're going to show you. After the same manner also he took the cup when he had supped, said, when he had supped, so we see he drank, didn't he? He supped, saying, this cup is the New Testament in my blood. This do as often as ye drink it in remembrance of me. For as often as ye eat this bread, we don't see them eat no lamb nowhere, do we? You ask ChatGPT, it said the Bible doesn't explicitly say they ate lamb. It don't say that. He the lamb. We don't need the lamb. He the lamb. They did eat the lamb. He said, this cup, this bread is my body. This cup is my blood. That's the lamb right there. We're not eating lamb to say, this is no, Yeshua is our Passover lamb. We just eating lamb symbolically. Really don't need it, do we? We gonna eat it though. Unc said that's the only reason why I'm coming. Nah, it says, but he said, for as often as ye drink this bread. Now, when you go back and look at Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, it don't say no as often as you eat this. Do it. It don't say that. But he said, for as often as you eat this bread and drink this cup, you do show the Messiah's death till he come. When he did this, what custom was he keeping? Was he keeping the new feast that he done made up, or was he keeping Passover? Because he already said, I'm finna eat the Passover with y'all. So why don't Christians keep the Passover? Why don't they keep the Passover? They keep communion every first and third Sunday. At the church I came from, we did it every third Sunday. Then after a while, we just stopped doing it, didn't we? And we were like, hey man, why we don't take communion no more? Well, you know, the stores ain't, because of stuff that's going on. They're lowering. Well, he was like, they low in the store or something. Well, how about they don't make crackers? Because that's what we be basically using, but we don't use crackers. We use matzah bread. I got to go buy a lot of that. I got to buy some wine this week. I'm going to buy like 12 bottles of wine. We expecting like 30-something people. We got to buy a lot of lamb. Going to go buy some more tables so we can, you know. This stuff costs money, don't it? We weren't able to do this. I tell you, the ministry is growing. We're able to do this stuff now. But it says, for as often as you eat this bread and drink this cup, you do show the Messiah's death till he come. Wherefore, whosoever shall eat of this bread and drink this cup of the master unworthily shall be guilty of the... That's why you can't just let anybody take the Passover. Y'all know that? You can't. Shall be guilty of the body and the blood of... That's why, you know anybody just can't come. Anybody can't just eat. Can they?
No.
But let a man examine himself, and so let him eat of that bread and drink of that cup. For he that eateth and drinketh unworthily eateth and drinketh damnation to himself, not discerning the master's body. For this cause, many are weak and sickly among you, and many sleep, or that's a euphemism for they dead. But as oft as ye. That's some added stuff, man. And I meant to put it in. No, I did put Simon Altoff in here. That's added. It ain't in there. As oft as ye. But look at this. As oft as ye. This was Simon Altoff in his book. It says, please note, this is an annual. Passover is an annual observance. The word often found in the King James Version and other translation is not in the Greek. And it's similar to how we saw in Job last week, where it said him, but him wasn't there. Same thing was oft as ye. Please note this is an annual observance. The word often found in the KJV and other translation is not in the Greek and inserted to make it sound like a weekly thing, but is not. Paul is reminding us about the Passover to be conducted as an annual ceremony of remembrance. The habit of drinking wine every Sunday and calling it communion is a church tradition and not a biblical commandment. And it cuts out, I didn't put the rest in there. But we want to keep this feast though, don't we? Because we're going to keep it next week. Purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened. For even Messiah our Passover, he is sacrificed for us. Therefore let us keep the feast, not with the old leaven, all that tradition and stuff, and sin. Neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth. So was it okay for the Messiah to do it at different times? He had to. Not only that, he was a rabbi. Rabbis can bind and what? Loose. The only people that really can bind and loose is righteous people. Your rabbis were supposed to be righteous, weren't you? That's why Paul said a teacher, one who desires the office of a bishop or an overseer, he got to be above reproach. His life got to be pretty much spotless, don't it? That's why that preacher just a man. Yeah, but he's supposed to be a man above reproach. His house should be in order. So if you got a wicked rabbi, a wicked preacher, a wicked teacher, get rid of him. Like Braxton said on Martin, get rid of him, Gina. Get rid of him. So was it okay? Let's see what Simon Alto said again. His footnote in Mark 14:16 he said this was a rehearsal Passover that the rabbis did 1 or 2 days earlier. Yeshua did this with his disciples because of common custom. It cannot be called communion. It ain't. So he said that sometimes rabbis would do, but Yeshua had to do it so that he could actually be what? The Passover lamb. He also said in commentary to Luke 22:8, rabbinic rehearsal of the Passover, but it still was a what? It still counted. And he want us to do that same thing, what? In remembrance of him. I ain't saying it was a rehearsal, but I'm just saying. But I even asked ChatGPT, I didn't put it in here, did they rehearse? It said, yeah, sometimes they did. Wow. Because they wanted to do everything perfect. But that word, I told you Yeshua was a what? A rabbi, didn't I? Where it say in the Bible here? I didn't put it in here. I just remembered that I didn't put it. I got the word in here. What my Bible? Randy. We didn't call him. You don't call him no rabbi. I tell you, hand me your Bible, because you definitely don't need it. Let's see. Well, Mary called him a rabbi, didn't she? Here you go. This is John chapter 20, verse 15. This is when Yeshua rose from the dead. Yeshua said to her, woman, why are you weeping? What you crying for? Whom seek ye? Who you looking for? She supposing him to be the gardener. He looked like a gardener. Said to him, sir, if you carried him away, tell me where you have laid him, and I will take him away. Yeshua said unto her, Miriam. She turned and said to him, Rabboni. This is the word right there, Rabboni. It means my teacher. Yeah, that's right. Lawlessness. Rabboni, it says, that word is a form of my teacher. Rabbi should be teaching you. What? The Bible. It said Master Chief Prince. Rabboni is a title of honor Mary used to address Yeshua. And that word, it said come from the, let's see, what did it tell me to go to? The Greek 44, it says corresponding to the Greek 4461, that's to your right, it says rabbi. He was a rabbi. But see, the thing is, these rabbis today, they ain't no good, are they? If your rabbi telling you to change something and they wicked, they can't change nothing. They can't bind and loose nothing. You remember Yeshua told Peter what? He said, whatsoever you bound on earth is what? Loosed in heaven. I'll allow it. And whatsoever you loosed on heaven, loose on the earth, it will be bound in heaven. We'll allow it. Go watch our Hebrew idiom class. We talked about binding and loosing in there, didn't we? But it says it's from the Hebrew origin of 72:27, which is by contraction, abundant. It says the rabbi should be abundant, rank, number, rank, quality. They should be great men, great ones, shouldn't they?
They should.
But they not, are they? And it comes from, it says, from the contraction of the Hebrew 72:31, which is rabab, to be or become many, be or become much, be or become great, plural, 10,000s. 10,000? Didn't we see that last week? You see it. But let's go to the book of Enoch. We saw it last week. I said last year. When we talked about it, said in the year 500, the 7th month, on the 14th day of the month, one day after tabernacle. I put that in there. But it says, I saw a mighty quaking made in the heavens of heavens to quake, and the host of the Most High and the angels, 1,000,000 and 10,000 times 10,000s, were disquieted with a great disquiet. And it said the head of days did sit on the throne. But just to show you that rabbi this stuff come from heaven, man. But I want to show you that the Israel of God, they agree that you're supposed to be eating on the 13th of Nisan. Or they eat. Let me say this again. They said they're gonna be eating the same day with us, but their feast of unleavened bread, first day of unleavened bread, is in accordance with the Jews of today's thing. So why is that? Because they know that Yeshua ate it what? He ate it what? Early. He ate it. They know he ate it early. They right. We got an Israel of God right across the street over there, don't we? Nice building, ain't it? I said, man, I can't wait till we can get to that level. But they say the Passover begins Friday 11th, like us, at sundown. And they said the feast of unleavened bread begins April the 12th at sundown, like the regular Jews say. Wait a minute, y'all. So if we eating on the 11th, shouldn't the 12th the next day? Shouldn't that be the feast of unleavened? They know that he ate what? He ate it not early. He just ate it at a different time than the traditional did, because he had to, because he was the what?
The lamb, the Passover.
Yes, he had to do that. See, because we gonna have our first day of unleavened bread convocation the very next day, ain't we? The very next day. The Jews, now watch this. The Jews and others say the Passover should be eaten on April the 12th. They say that's Nisan, Abib 14th, at even, going into the 15th day, the first day of unleavened bread. Rap Ministry's view is the Passover should be eaten on April the 11th, which I believe is the 14th of Abib, going into the 15th. But Brother Ron, I thought you said he said do it. No, we can now, because he became the Passover lamb, we can now still keep it the 14th going into the 15th, like it should be. But even if you do it a day before, you wouldn't be wrong. You would be doing it like he did it. I said, even if I'm wrong, which I doubt, we still do it like Yahushua. So let's just say I'm wrong about the actual date of Passover. It's the 12th at even, instead of, I say it's the 11th at even. If we use their calendar, I'm still doing it like Yeshua did, didn't I? I'm doing it like he did it. Just like he did it. But I don't think we wrong. And us not being wrong, what I say, the 14th is the 11th going into the 12th. But either way, I'm still right. Do you get what I just said? So let me say that one more time. I say that the 14th of Nisan is April the 11th. And the 15th is April the 12th. They say that April the 12th is the 14th. See, we a day off. You know why we a day off? That's what the class was last week. Because of what? That moon. I said when it's covered, that's when you begin your count. They said no, we wait another day till. So we can see the what? The crescent. But we already saw, chat told us that ain't nowhere in the scriptures. Either way, we doing it right. So let's say they got the right day. Well, and they saying that's the 14th. Well, when we taking our Passover, it's the 13th going into the 14th, just like the whole lesson we just did today. Ain't it? So either way, so if I'm wrong, I'm still right. If you're right, you're wrong. In the sense that you ain't eating it at the same time that he ate it, if we say we want to do it just like he did. You see what I'm saying? But I asked chat, I said, what? Because sometimes, even when they try to see the slither, they didn't see it sometimes. So let's see. I said, what if you couldn't see it due to the clouds? In temple times, the Sanhedrin, they didn't have no Sanhedrin in Moses' time. This didn't come to much, much later. But anyway, let's see. The Sanhedrin Jewish court waited for witnesses to come and report the sighting. If no valid witnesses came due to the clouds, whether or no one seen the crescent, they will wait until the 30th day of the current month. If still no sighting, they will automatically declare the new month on day 31. So they just had all kind of stuff. We got to see it. Well, how about just seeing it when it looked like that? Right? It was true. So, why did they do that? They wanted to make sure. The reason why they did the slither of light, they wanted to make sure that it was a new moon. What they say, fail proof or something like that. So if we see that crescent, we know we got a new month. They rabbis. That's what they did. So either way, just make sure you keeping the what though. You need to be keeping it. Whether you did it like March 14th like some, or was it April 1st like some? You see what I'm saying? Or the 11th. Either way, with us, if we wrong, we doing it the same night Yeshua did it. Didn't we? Just trying to tell you. It's like I ain't wrong either way. I'm good either way. But because we already know it said blow the trumpet in the new moon. We ain't gonna read all. We read. You go watch last week's class. You can see that. But we see the full moon. But when you look at it, that means the covered moon. Blow the trumpet in the new moon, in the covered moon. We asked chat. Did Moses use it? They said there ain't no evidence. There ain't no evidence. Most likely, Moses did not use the sighted moon. That's what they said. That's what ChatGPT said. Well, you can watch the class. Is this a new moon? No, it ain't no new moon. This, the number one right, that's a new moon. You see that? That's what a new moon looks like. I have seen a new moon at nighttime before looking like that. Have you, Auntie?
I have.
So how we ain't gonna know it's a new moon then? We gotta see a slither. We gotta see a slither. I don't gotta see no slither. So we gonna be keeping Passover. But so what I hope to prove to you today is there are no contradictions in this Bible, is it? Yeshua ate before. I know it. Simon Althoff know it. Some scholars know it. But let's end the class, and it's 1:42. And behold, I come quick. What you need to make sure is, Corey Booker got 25 hours. I want to show you one more thing.
He was standing up.
He said he was standing up. But I got my tassels on for folk that say, he ain't even got no tassels. My shirt just long today. Got them on. Quit playing. What I wanted to show you, so I forgot what I wanted to show you. Oh, I do know what I want to show you. Where is it? Look at all of these different dates people are keeping it. 14, 28, 1st, 11, 11, 11, 12, 12. Just make sure you're taking the Passover. When Yeshua come back, he going to correct us all. If anybody right, or if anybody would. Make sure you make sure you examine yourself. And not only that, the Feast of Unleavened Bread took place for how many days?
7.
Actually, if you count the Passover itself, it's really like an 8-day feast. The preparation all the way to the last day. So really, unleavened bread, some Jews used to eat unleavened bread and wine with their meals during that time. So as long as you take it in that 8-day period, keep your life sinless, basically. But brothers and sisters, let's get to the last one, because the master is soon to return. People don't know he was a rabbi. He kept a lot of traditions. He's like, in order for me to be this Passover lamb, the actual Passover lamb, I gotta eat it this day. I gotta eat it at this time. He gotta be the Passover lamb. If he ain't the Passover lamb, you and me in trouble. Or is it you and me or you and I? You and I, we will conquer the world. You and I in trouble. But and behold, in my Josh voice, I'm coming quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, The first and the last. Blessed are they that do his commandments. Cursed are they that what? Don't. That they may have a right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city. For without are what? Dogs. Wait a minute. Roscoe can't live in the house? But that woman said, he said, is it right for me to give is it right for me to give the children's bread to the little dogs? And she said even the dogs do what? Eat the crumbs from the what? Maybe that dog was in the house at some point. Now he can't sleep. Well, our dog ain't allowed in the kitchen, is he? My wife this weather must be finna get bad. He can't come in our room. He can't he can't come in the kitchen.
That's right.
The only room he allowed in is the children's room. Is that right? Yeah, and she make him give him a bath. How often they gotta give him a bath? Every other day. That dog gonna be dried up. Every 3 days? Oh, okay. They gave him a bath. What was it? Was it this morning? Oh, it was last night? I don't know why. Well, I must have been dreaming.
And they need to wipe his booty every time he uses it.
Yeah. We're gonna start spraying some Lysol on that. Burn him up back there. My wife don't play, but on the outside of dogs and sorcerers and hormone, he's so little, ain't he? And they say he not gonna get no bigger, like a little rat when he wet. And he said, for on the outside of dogs and sorcerers and humongers and murderers and idolaters, and whosoever loveth to make it to lie. I, Yeshua, have sent my angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and offspring of David. Yeshua is the offspring of David, meaning that you got to keep them laws, statutes, and commandments just as they're written in the law of Moses. All David offspring got to do that to sit on the throne. Is he coming back to sit on the throne?
Yes.
Then you got to keep them law. He got to keep them laws, statutes, and commandments, and teach you the same. And we got to teach him coming the judgment. See, we all think the judgment gonna be one day. No. From the moment he get back, because when a lot of time when we going up from year to year to worship the King, we see bodies of people that he destroyed. Oh, we're gonna show you what that 1,000-year period gonna look like.
Probably not good.
Not good. Step forward, Tin Man. Step forward. Step forward, Willie. My name is Wilhelmina. Who? I'm not Willie, I'm Wilhelmina. He gonna say, well, Wilhelmina, you got an Elemental. Step forward, Willie. You know what a elemental is? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, elemental P. You got an elemental penal. Y'all better make sure you keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. And the Spirit and the bride say what? Come! And let him that heareth do what? Come! And let him that athirst what? Come! And whosoever will, let him take the water of life freely. Freely. It's Marvin Sapp. Free, bro. Folks on the internet said, never would have paid it. You know, he ruined his legacy with locking folks in, didn't he? Because that song was powerful. Never would have made it. Folks on the internet said, never should have paid it. Thank you guys for coming on in today. Go, take what you have learned and apply. If it don't apply, let it fly. Wow, yeah, man. Thank you guys for coming on in. Thank you for coming on in. Love and appreciate everybody. Love and appreciate everybody. Next week, we're going to take the Passover. Everybody online, we're going to be live streaming it. So if you want to partake in the Passover with us, we are going to start we're going to go online at 6:30. We're going to go on 6:30. People that's in town, you need to be here at 6 o'clock. Y'all got that? In town people, 6 o'clock. We go live 6:30. We don't need to be being late for Passover. All right? Make sure you look at yourself. So we'll take the Passover that Friday evening. We'll be here probably about 8:30. Then everybody can go home. We come back for the Shabbat service the next day, and after that service, we have some food and drink for everybody. Unleavened bread, of course. We ain't eat no. What you say we having? She said it'll be a taco bar or something like that. You know. So yeah, well, we fellowship with each other, and then we leave, and everybody go home. And then me and my wife can get some much needed rest. Because we going to be working this week, ain't we? We going to be working. Thank you, everybody. Love everybody. Thank the kind words. But Passover next Friday. Be here. If you in town, we expect you to be here too. All right? You know what to do. Go to rapministry.org if you got a prayer request or a Bible question. And we'll get back to you. Prayer requests right away. Bible questions, sometimes right away, or sometimes it depends on how many people asking questions. So I'll be trying to get to everybody. Love everybody. Appreciate everybody. Go out. Pray for us. We've been having bad weather these last 3 or 4 days. Pray that our power stay on. Pray that no trees don't fall on our house. Pray that no tornadoes don't take our cars and houses and rip the roofs off our house. You know, just pray for us. This is Most High judging the folks, ain't he? This is just, I don't normally say that, but it's a lot of things going on.
It's rebuke.
Yes, rebuke. Love and appreciate everybody. We out. Pray for me. I pray for you. Love one another. Take care of one another. We are out. Hallelujah.
151. Wow.
It's a wrap.